Most children could look forward to a life of opportunity, but at just the age of 10, Mohammed Rantisi appears to be stuck in a futile trap because he doesn't have the right papers. His father, Abdelaziz, has already been condemned to living that life. He doesn't bother to get up because he cannot find a legal job. The Rantisis are non-identity Palestinians, and the Lebanese state doesn't recognize their existence.
My husband came here after fleeing Gaza decades ago. He had a travel document from Egypt, which he lost during the Lebanese civil war. The Egyptians refused to replace it, and the Lebanese government won't give him any official papers.
There are more than 3,000 cases of non-IDs in the country. Without those papers, Palestinians cannot register their children or travel outside the country. And most of the time, they daren't even leave the refugee camp because they could be stopped at security checkpoints. Rida told us that they have a right to a future, just like other children across the world. Now, the final misery. The Rantisi family has been stripped of all their belongings, displaced from the fighting at Nahr el-Bared refugee camp, and settled in the nearby camp of Bedawi. Palestinians have had a long history of suffering here. They are stateless, refugees with little basic rights, and even some without any identity. And now, more than 30,000 are homeless and don't have a community to return to again. Their homes in Nahr el-Bared, nothing more than skeletal remains because of the clashes between the Lebanese army and fighters from a group known as Fatah al-Islam. It will take more than a year before their homes are rebuilt. Generations of Palestinian refugees grow up in the small streets and narrow alleyways in camps across the country. UN relief workers provide some help, but in yet another cruel twist, that help is limited because these poor stateless people don't have Lebanese IDs.
Lebanese government promised to seriously look into their situation and settle their problem without really giving many details on how this is going to happen.
These families have spent decades marking time and waiting. Istihar is waiting for some sort of legal documentation. She says her husband lost his Jordanian passport during the Israeli invasion 25 years ago.
We went to the embassy many times, but they didn't replace the papers. I'm worried about my children's future.
What future? Another generation is growing up facing an empty and uncertain life, casting around in the hope that someone will provide them with the shelter of a national identity. Zeina Khodr, Al Jazeera, Bedawi Camp, North Lebanon.